Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by big4accountingfirms.com. We just got some information about mid-year raises at E&Y. Now, we previously said that E&Y was quiet. All the other firms have said they're doing mid-year raises. And then E&Y was doing mid-year raises in certain countries around the world, but not in the U.S. or any of the major countries. But now that E&Y is changing their tune and kind of covering their tracks, but it's more of a press release, public relations release than it is an actual mid-year increase. So what E&Y is doing is that they're accelerating their raises because they used to do their raises, and a lot of the big four accounting firms do their raises in October. But now E&Y is changing it to August, and the people's compensation will be in August, and it change in August. And this is in the U.S. And they're going to also make promotions effective in August. Not that it mattered. I'm pretty sure people are more concerned with their raise than they are their promotion when their promotion is effective, unless you're trying to use your title to get a new job. But most of the time, if you're just recently promoted, your title doesn't make a difference when you transition to industry. But they also talk about how they've invested incremental $2 billion across various compensation pools, like regular compensation, bonus, and recognition awards, and well-being benefits. And the recognition awards, these are like gift cards. Well-being benefits is what basically all the big four accounting firms have, where you can buy a desk if you're working from home, or you can buy fitness equipment, things like that. And most of them have, I think, about $1,000 for that, which is taxable to the employee. And also they're going to be giving out the bonus at the end of August. So you're going to have your promotion raise in the beginning of August and your bonus at the end of August. And then also they're going to do a mid-year recognition bonus. Not this year though, but next year. So they're basically doing three things. They're accelerating the pay to the beginning of August and your title. And then they're doing their bonus at the end of August. And so we're here at the end of February. That's 6 months away. And why are they doing this now? It doesn't make sense to do this now. It makes absolutely no sense, except for the other big four accounting firms have all done mid-year raises. So like I predicted that they would follow, because you don't have a choice. You're out there recruiting against people. You're out there, and it's not only just recruiting against the other big four accounting firms, it's trying to retain talent and trying to keep morale high. Why would people want to join your firm versus the other when the other are recognizing their employees through mid-year compensation? People that join those firms now obviously aren't going to receive that mid-year compensation, but they could get higher salaries because it shows that they care about their employees. And so that's why I predicted that E&Y had to do something. You can't not do anything and say we already did a good enough job. It doesn't even matter if you did a good enough job unless your pay is way above everybody else's. So I think they had to do this. It makes sense. And they also predicted that their bonus pool will be fully funded, and we're halfway, or even more than halfway through their fiscal year. So I think that's why they're more comfortable doing it now, is that there's only 4 months left in the fiscal year for most of the big four. So they know where they're going to land, even if the economy goes down, which it definitely is. I mean, we're seeing market caps of the largest companies in the world get cut in half over the past few months. Like Facebook is one example. There's just, and then there's a lot of other companies that are just missing earnings and then dropping off a cliff. People are just worried about many things around the world of inflation, supply chain. People are worried about war now. So there's a lot of things going around. And so the rest of the year doesn't look too good. But the big four accounting firms right now, it's like we've spoken about on this podcast before. There's only a few months left in the year. Most of those contracts are fixed contracts. the consulting might dip off, but that won't be to the end of the year. But let's say consulting does drop off. The big four accounting firms are so short staffed that even then they can guarantee these bonuses, these increases in compensations. That's why, like, never in my career, and also this podcast, and this podcast has been around longer than many people worked in the big four accounting firms. Have I seen the big four accounting firms this desperate and this speaking this much about compensation, guaranteeing this much about compensation? They're usually more wishy-washy. They don't say we're fully funded, we expect to be fully funded, we have great projections. I don't think the big four accounting firms at this state can look into fiscal year 23 and say that they have great projections. There's nobody in the world that can guarantee that. But I think they're so short-staffed. There's so much work for large corporations that they know the work's going to be there. They have more work than they have people. And I don't think that's a typical situation for them. So this is good news. Big four accounting firms are becoming more pro-labor, let's say, pro-employee. So that's great for the big four accounting firms, for the big four accounting firm employees. But that's the update for today. Make sure to subscribe to this podcast to get future updates and check out the show notes for useful links.